Good morning and welcome to Morning at NTV. My name is Idris Matusegawa and today is a Friday. As you know, every Friday here on the show we discuss lifestyle, entertainment, anything to do with film, music and your day-to-day activities. Now, continuing the conversation from last week, we were talking about the film industry in Uganda and how to better it this year. Exceptional is the funding issue. So many filmmakers in Uganda have had an issue with funding, how to get money to fund their ideas, their films, from paper to film. Now, in studio, I have our usual suspect, Andrew Kagwa, who is a reporter for the Daily Monitor, very knowledgeable guy, and Hussein Mushema, a filmmaker and producer, to tell us about this and more. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning.
How was the day?
It's just
so far,
it's just what?
there's been a marathon to run from down there since there's the conference. People have to run to come here.
Indeed. Mushema, I'll start with you. You're very smart in pink and white and grey and everything going on. Eh? the actual actor. We are Hollywood. All right. I'll go straight to the issue at hand. Funding. You as a filmmaker, Mushema, as someone who has produced a few movies and TV series, what challenges have you had in funding, or do you actually even have any?
Actually, I've not really produced a TV series yet, but I'm working on my promos, but at least I produced a few things here and there, or probably the companies I'm associated with have produced some good work, my being a director in the companies. But truthfully speaking, funding, when it comes to movies in Uganda, we've still failed to get the big guns to come on board to support us. They're truly accepting, but have caught away the colleague there, and caught out sometimes, you know, when they're almost there, something happens and they pull back. And it's because of also comes back to us as filmmakers, the inconsistency in our works. When it comes to the quality, sometimes the producer may produce some amazing story and then it hits there, and then before you know it, they're doing something else, again less than what they did previously. So the consistency is what is going to pull these people to come back on board and, you know, engage them. When we have movie premieres, we have to invite them. But talking about premiering a film where subira oite MD wa MTN aje omusubira nti nagenda kuwa million 10 okole film yeddako omuteekemu somewhere. No, it's impossible. We also have to invest in to make sure that these people come on board. So I think there is still a bridge to incorporate the corporate people and the filmmakers as well. And also I think we lack paperwork. You know, our work is more visual than anything. So when you present a script, you present all these amazing characters, you say to these board members, Mushema is going to be playing this role, he has this kind of following, he's going to give you this kind of mileage, Martina Wiso is going to help you, he's going to be the director of this film, Idris Matu is going to write the story, Yes, they might have an idea about these people, but that's where you bring the visuals.
What's your business plan, basically?
Exactly. So, and when you look at the business plan, it's just 3 months business plan. They're looking at a long-term partnership with you. So I think that's when they'd be like, our 100 million may not be able to get it. But also it raises a question when it comes to the other brothers and sisters of ours from the music industry, if they're able to fund concerts and everything, and I have a premiere of my movie in Serena in May, that's to say this year, which is going to happen with or without them, it will happen. But when I come to them, why do they give me a hard time? A movie, they start doing that, and yet when someone else came and presented their concept to them, I'm going to film Serena. I filmed Serena in 2018 for Veronica's Wish. You also. When I come back here and present to you the same thing, I'm like, I filmed Serena with a movie. It was a premiere. People paid 150K ordinary tickets. That means there's a gap. Ugandans love their work. They love good stuff, and they will attend to see good stuff. So the corporates, why are you rejecting? You understand? So now I know Gondam Mitima, they were embracing until if you're doing it for the Ugandans, then let's do it for these people.
Andrew,
Yeah.
we had this conversation last week, and we've had it so many times because you're a panelist here on the show. Mushama talks about the challenge of the corporate world not understanding the value in film in Uganda. Do you agree?
You see, first of all, in Uganda, the creative industry that has been getting money from corporate companies has been getting it, for lack of harsh words, I would say, they've been getting it through fraudulent measures. Like, we've been stealing money from corporate companies as the creative industry. People have been working with the creative industry because, more so in this time when I'm talking about music, mainly because you have the numbers, not necessarily because they are saying anything. And that's a bit to answer what you're asking, why they easily work with the music industry. Because the musician is going to come and all they're talking about are the numbers. At the moment, I can tell you it's been so hard for musicians to get sponsorship. Like, I could mention like 5 of the biggest shows that happened in between October to December, even the ones that are happening in January, and none of them have even one serious sponsor coming on board, because right now people are reevaluating. But of course, when it comes to film, why people do not easily come on board is, like, I'm thinking of you feeling Serena, but I'm thinking of, okay, what next? The thing about film and music is that film is a one-time experience. Like, once I watch Veronica's Wish, chances are I do not want to see it again.
True, the consumption, yeah.
When I listen to, say, Shiba and Filmmaking's Wepaba, like, it will actually make more sense the more I listen to it. So the repetitive effect of music kind of works for it, and it's literally a disadvantage for film. But yes, now I don't even remember the question.
What's the question? The corporate people coming to
you asking why the
do you feel,
value?
because he has made an argument that today corporate companies, investors basically are very hesitant in investing their money into film.
Yes.
Do you agree with this?
Yeah, it's true. They're hesitant because at times when they are thinking money, they do not see where the money is going to come from. Of course, why I had to give you that whole analogy is that for music, they come through because music is promising them numbers, and the repetitive of it being played, the song being played, them getting attached to the brand of Shiba or Filmmaker at times makes them feel like they are getting their value of everything. But at the moment, they've showed us that maybe they are not getting it, and maybe that's the reason why they are pulling out. So I don't know if I should go on and answer how we can get them on board.
Please do.
Because who really wants them bad.
Truth is, at the moment, we are not saying a lot with our works, and that's not just film, that's music inclusive. I could give you an example of a film called Man on Ground. It's a film one of the producers used to work here. You remember Rosie Montaigne?
Yes, I do.
She's one of the producers of Man on Ground. Man on Ground is about this Nigerian guy who moves to South Africa, falls in love with a South African woman, and then he's somehow killed in a xenophobic attack. And basically, when you look at the film, it's about this young woman who's looking for her lost husband. But there is a lot of underlying messages of the whole situation of immigration and what happens. Like, that script was done and finished. And when they started pitching it, one of the people that paid them a lot of money, even without appearing in the film or like having their brand around the film, was, I think, IOM. And it's because IOM and immigration, like, basically that's what they communicate
advocate for.
So, like, at times I feel like our art, and I'm talking generally, our art at times is, we want to tell the stories. At times we tell the stories, but then we do not have that underlying purpose that someone can probably hinge on. And at times it becomes worse when we do not know who we are talking to. Say, if I'm so sure that the audience I'm trying to target are students, and my message in the film, message and film is something that's very important, but it's something that must be subtle because the film must still be entertaining.
Yeah.
So
you don't want to come off preachy.
You don't want to come off preachy. But how I drive my message for a sponsor to feel like this actually represents me, it's still quite a challenge when it comes to our industry. So I think if we can solve that, because when you go to pitch your film to a corporate sponsor, they will ask you, why us? Why should we come on board? And most of the times, that's the question we fail to answer.
Well, if you have just joined us, this is Morning at NTV, and my name is Idris Matusegawa. We are talking about film and how to make it better. And previously, we have just had a chat about funding and the difficulties with filmmakers in Uganda are facing in getting money from investors. And this leads us to our topic today. The Oscars shortlist was out. Next week on Tuesday, they will be announcing the nominations. Now, fingers crossed, maybe we can get a Ugandan film right there nominated. And my question to you, Mushema, is that is the funding affecting our chances of getting films that could be nominated for the Oscars?
Not really. Not really. Getting a good film is different from whatever. Funding is a totally different thing. And getting a good film out there is totally a good thing. A good film, you don't require to have even a lot. It's the story that sells you to the Oscars and how you do the story. Yes, good funding, good money, you can have so much money in a film and you still fail to deliver the visuals, you still fail to deliver the story. We've seen that happen. Even when you have the best actors in the country on the show, we've seen that happen. Now, the stories that Oscar wants is what we want. What are those stories? What is necessary? Because we've seen movies, Ugandan movies, trying to slide in the Oscars, and they tell you the language, because it's renowned that Ugandans have the best spoken English, you know, and that's the truth. We don't fake accents. We speak the way we speak, you know. But out there, they don't understand our accent. They'll be like, the true African accent should be probably a Nigerian kind of accent, which I feel it's very ridiculous. But coming back to your question, yes, money is needed to produce a good movie. Yeah. But have you realized that you can even do a story of 4 people and still hits the Oscars? You understand? So the story is important, and the execution of visuals.
Some time back, we had a movie dubbed Tembele that was locally produced, and it had a chance to compete. And I'll go to you, Andrew, on this. He talks about story, and apparently that's why we have failed to get a movie into the Oscars. Do you feel entirely it's up to the story that a movie will be nominated to appeal to international audiences? Or is it the fact that you've kind of mentioned a little bit about the funding, is that we do not understand the audience that we are producing for? Or we basically do not, as filmmakers, we do not make due diligence to know, to make research and know I'm putting out a product that, and this is the target audience, so the likelihood of them liking it is high.
Also, wait, so Idris.
What?
Yes.
Yeah? Tukizwa kuogera.
Yes.
Lwaki twogera oluzungu wano ku NTV kweno morning and lwaki twogera oluzungu? Yeah, first wait, answer that question.
To appeal to a larger audience, because so many people in the country.
Yes.
Yeah. As you know, Uganda is multicultural, multilingual country, and you have to get a language that
everyone understands.
Yes,
Nah.
that's simpler to understand.
That's the same thing filmmakers have.
Yeah.
You know, let's speak English, because everyone in Acholi will understand English. In Uganda, in the central, they will understand. When we get ku Oscars, ne babakubirayo tebagala oluzungu lwammwe. Bagala mu Luganda, mu Lucholi, mu Lusoga.
But I would counter argue that and say there is an option of dubbing. So many people have dubbed movies, Indian movies on Netflix, these South Korean movies.
Yes,
most of these series
that's
are dubbed.
That's
so why don't we do the same?
Okay,
No, that's
you see,
dubbing.
when it comes to the Oscars, and I happen to be on the committee.
Yes.
When it comes to the Oscars, when it comes to the Oscars, they are looking for films that are made in any language that's not English. It could be French, it could be Zulu, it could be Spanish, but it must not be English. And last year, 2022, we submitted Tembele. Tembele is an amazing film. The precedents and the issues it addresses, mental health. It was a good film which I thought had a chance, but then I also knew it didn't have a chance. So that's why, to answer the question you had asked him, if money is important, money might not be important in making a film that will get to the Oscars, but then you need money to actually give the film legs.
Yeah.
Because the whole thing about the Oscars and the Grammys usually comes down to how many people you know in the boardrooms. Independent filmmakers do not get nominated for Oscars. Like, it's a fact. They will not say that, but it is a fact. So most of the times, your executive producer, your co-producer, basically the people you have around the film matter more than the film at times for it to get into those spaces. This year, Ugandan director has a chance of winning an Oscar or getting a nomination. That's Bwayo Moses for being a co-director of Bobby Wine, The People's President, the documentary film. But when you look at all the other people that are on that film, like, one of them literally has 3 Oscars to his name. So, like, those people will get the movies to the right festivals, to the right platforms, and before you know, it gets into the conversation of the Oscars. At the moment, when we are making films by ourselves, we shall make films that are fit to be at the Oscars, but if we do not have those names, which takes a lot of money to actually get them on board, if we don't have those names, the chances are films will just remain that good film that felt like it was worth it, but it somehow did not even go past. Because when you look at all the films that even make the long list, all those films have some experienced names of people that are pushing them. Now, by the time you make the short list, there are chances everyone on that list has actually won an Oscar or gotten a nomination before. Just like you see it with the Grammys, that you work with people that have either won a Grammy before or been in the Grammy circles, you'll get your Grammy nomination. So it's more of a boardroom thing after the story has been told.
So, but yet again, as Andrew has put it, although you need to create a relationship with these people who are in the boardroom, you can't have a relationship and basically present a low quality product and claim this has to be nominated for an Oscar.
I don't think it's possible to get to that level when you've not learned how to figure out the story.
The quality.
I don't think it's possible.
Well, the truth is Idris, at the same time, we have to come back to our reality here. There's so much. There's a project I'm working on right now with the European Union. You might have heard of it. Opportunities are here. We're just trying to bring in the new fresh blood we teach them the real film, the things that we didn't get a chance to learn, but we learned over the past 10 years of being in the industry, wanonawali, but...
sorry to cut you short. We had a conversation about this idea of bringing in new blood and training only the new blood last week. And we pointed out that there is an issue of understanding the film industry in Uganda and how young it is, that the people who are already making films are actually older, and they still need training to upgrade to a better level. So these people are being ignored, and all these trainings are targeting young blood, people who are just coming through, and they're ignoring the people who are already moving the industry. And I think
who also need the training.
Okay, that's a very good observation.
It's a fact.
So it's a fact. The truth is, when we're growing up and we're watching That's Life Mwatu, is it VCL? The studios. Whoever was on those cameras, do you think there are some people that can go to a set like Sanyo and hold the same camera and work with it?
Well, I want to think so.
Yes, if so, we don't know who these people are. If so, if they're out there, they can still come and get the experience. That's if they really want. Idris, sometimes passion is wow because of the nature of the environment.
Exactly. An example is that when a 30-year-old filmmaker who has been in the industry for 5 years looks for more training to upskill, and all the trainings available are basically segregating.
Also Idris,
20 to 21, 19 to 20.
Idris, right now,
they'll feel like, okay, I'm being extremely excluded.
The reason why people want new blood is because, I want to know that's
very unfair.
Idris, I'm telling you. Oja mugamba sound we movie. Aja kugamba gwayogera obingo omuzanyi. Lwaki adinani yaja kusobola mukwata bulungi. Atampulire bulungi nga I'm doing a romantic scene with someone, I'm just basically whispering. Yatekayo mic agambe, I don't hear you.
Okay. So when I talk about the older people, people who are willing to actually learn, because they are there.
They're there.
Case in point, Mama Chisauzi. Sarah Chisauzi.
Such a beautiful
Exactly. She's 50 and above.
She's working.
This is what I'm saying. Before you met Sarah, she had gone to trainings with Mariam Dagire, bless her. Yes.
Oh, wow.
She went out of her way to actually go and start learning. But if she wasn't given that opportunity, we wouldn't have the amazing actress that she is today. And this is my point, that ignore the older people who are saying, I'm learned, I know everything, do not tell me what to do. But there are people who actually want to learn, but they are being said to no.
Also, now,
we don't want your edge.
Some of these projects also, some of us are trainers. They come with already a structure that is made. They're like, we want...
And that's the structure. That structure is the problem.
Yes. And
it's what we are talking about.
That's not a problem, because that shouldn't be a problem. But actually, it would be interesting if we had some old faces there and they have to learn the new skills.
Yes.
For example, I'm going to give you an example. Abe Muchibi is acting as my father in Sanyu.
Yes.
Abe Muchibi has been doing this for over 30 years now, and he's such an amazing actor. I've dreamt working with this guy before. Now, if Abe Muchibi can come and listen to a 40-year-old director, Matthew, Namugamba, tone down, do this, director, I'm causing sorry. So you were take him. Okay, let me do it this way. How sure are you that all these other 30-year experienced actors are willing to be the same?
Again, I'm sure, because if someone comes out and says, I want to train, then they are willing. And I'm not talking about the people who are not willing. But anyway, because we are running out of time, I'll just go back to kind of conclude this conversation. How do we get to that level of having a chance to compete in the Oscars and igniting the film industry as it is? Yeah.
There is at least Ugandans are waking up. The past 2 years I've seen it. And they are willing to give us a chance again after we failed years ago.
Yeah.
You know, stand up and we are trying to bring back the audience that we lost. And thank you so much, Ugandans, for giving us the opportunity. Thank you so much for coming for the premieres. Thank you for listening to our calls, to Agaranyo. Idris, we just have to raise Ugandans to a better audience.
Yeah.
By constantly being in their faces, by that consistency of good work is what we want. Producers out there, please be consistent. That's what Ugandans want. I'm not going to be on another show. So is
that the key into breaking
now the Oscars,
into the international audience?
That's the training.
Yeah.
And we also have to learn to produce for the international market. Film tezikoma Uganda. Mweze mulaba zonna z'abana Uganda. Nebali eri abali e Bulaya baagala okulabako the Ugandan true stories. And no one is going to tell better stories than us, Idris. We have to tell those stories ourselves. We have the DOPs here, we have the machines, we have the actors, the best in Africa. We have the best talent in Africa, no doubt. We feel, we know the stories, we have the best writers.
Yeah.
Idris, you're working on a story. I know it's going to be a very beautiful story, no doubt.
Yeah.
Because I trust you. Nisha called me for this film. Because I know she's a great writer. Build that trust with actors, build that trust with DOPs, and then the professionalism comes back to what you want Oscars to be like. You know, as a producer, you have to make sure that people are serious. Some people here in Uganda take things for granted. Passion, passion, passion. I don't think this is passion. When when people's monies are there in the bank, transport, I'm hiring cameras, Idris, the rate 1.5 a day, and I'm shooting this movie for a week or 2 weeks. I need you on time. Make up professionalism.
Andrew,
time.
We are running out of time.
Yep.
How do we get our movies, our products, to that international level and stand a chance to compete in the Oscars?
When a movie becomes Ugandan because it has a Ugandan producer, like basically that's it. We need to spread our wings as we are working. One, we need to know that there is no truly American film.
Yeah.
And there is no truly British film or Spanish film. All these films are succeeding through collaborations. A Spanish film has an English director, an American actor. We need to spread our wings. When Nigerians have found a way around it, you'll find them working with Lukman on directing. Another person is working with Andrew Ahura on sound. We need to diversify like that. If my story needs a costume designer from Kenya, I should go and get him.
Yep.
Because the more different hands you bring on board, the more chances those people are spreading the word of your film to markets you might not even get to by yourself.
Well, thank you so much, gentlemen.
So just Idris.
We have run out of time, Michelle. My producer will kill me. I hope to come back. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming through. You at home, thank you also for watching. To continue the conversation, go to our social media platforms, that is Twitter, which is X now, or YouTube and Facebook. Look out for NTV Uganda. The hashtag is morning at NTV. My name is Idris Matusegawa.